Hello, hello.
Yes, sir. I think so. Sir lost his connection.
Yeah,
He'll
yeah,
join
some
back in.
technical issues. Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, Hello, participants. It is uh, sad to inform that the speaker he is not able to connect. We are solving the technical glitch. Kindly wait for some time. Thank you.
Hello, hello.
You may
Yes,
speak,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Uh, Arvind sir is by
No, sir. Not
Arvind sir.
presently connected.
Sir, he is not able to connect. We are trying on the technical glitch, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. You can start with your session. We'll be showing your PPT from here. Am I audible, sir?
Hello,
Yeah, sir. You're audible. So you can start with the session. We'll be showing the PPT from here. Yeah.
am I audible properly?
Yes, sir. You're audible. Okay. You can start with the session,
Actually, I'm
sir.
not getting your voice more clear. So let's begin with this particular part, that if you want to become an entrepreneur, which qualities you need to have. So these points we are going to discuss in this particular webinar. Then what drives an entrepreneur, and finally what traits are matching with you. So please move to the next slide. Yeah, here these are a few basic questions that we need to ask ourselves to check our entrepreneurship ability. The first question is there: are you part of any successful solution? Right now in your life, whatever life you have survived on this earth right now, here, anywhere, you are the part of any particular solution that might be at your home, that might be in your friend circle, that might be anywhere in society. So if you are part of solution for certain problems, then you do have qualities to become an entrepreneur. Point number two, have you done something innovative, creative in your life successfully? That successfully point is most important, because if you have done something and that is a part of success, then you deserve to be an entrepreneur. Next important point is that have you done any successful leadership for any team? Now here again, it can be a sports team, it can be a team in any technical competition. Anywhere, have you shown any kind of leadership? Have you taken initiatives for doing something great? So there you do find, yes, if you have done leadership, then definitely you do have quality of entrepreneur. Next point, that is, have you handled rejection successfully? See, always we are with positive mindset, we are with great confidence in ourselves to do a business. But in business, always you will win. That kind of situation will not happen. Sometimes it does happen that we are facing rejections. People are saying that we are not interested in your service. We are not interested in your product. We are not comfortable with your price. We are not comfortable with your brand. At that moment, how you handle that rejection, that is most important. So you need to have that habit of rejections. I hope you people do go through such kind of rejections in life. It might be from friends, it might be from any relationship. So how do you tackle with that particular rejection? If you tackle properly that rejection and then solve that particular matter, it might be on a positive note, win-win situation. It may be at your side or their side, but you need to have that mental balance of handling your rejections. So that is the quality of an entrepreneur. Next important point, have you convinced someone to change his or her opinion successfully? If you are able to do it, it means that you are a good communicator. You are good at presentation skill. You are good at comprehension skill. So this is the quality required in an entrepreneur. Next important point is, have you done any kind of dare successfully in your life? Now, all those questions which you are looking on screen, in all those questions, you do find one common word, and that is successfully. So if you have done these things successfully, not all things, if either you have faced at least 2, 3 major qualities, then definitely you do have that particular gut to become an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is a person who take risks, who accept challenges, and give an innovative, creative shape to the society. So entrepreneurship is a part of mostly your mindset. Do you have a particular mindset to become an entrepreneur? Then these qualities must have in you. Number one, you need to be a part of solution. Number two, you need to be innovative, creative. Number three, you need to have leadership qualities, means take initiative. Leadership, it doesn't mean that you need from political field or you have to be a captain of something. No. Leadership means if you have taken initiative somewhere, then definitely you do have that particular quality. Have you handled rejections, as I said? So handling people, that particular quality you need to have, and convincing someone with your words, with your communication, with your action, with your expressions. So these qualities you need to have to become an entrepreneur. Next important point, that is, as I said, that you need to do daring in life, to take something creative, something innovative, which is good for society, where you are convinced, yes, I can do it. So in this particular manner, you need to have this entrepreneurship attitude in you. these are the qualities. Ask this question to yourself. Check it out that how many answers you can write down, and then check it out what is your potential to become an entrepreneur. Because these are the qualities every day an entrepreneur do follow. Because every day I do get rejection. Every day I have to convince someone. Every day I have to change their opinion. So this is the very regular work of an entrepreneur. Okay. Now, in next slide, you are going to understand that what drives an entrepreneur. So I request please move to the next slide. In next slide, you are going to understand what drives to the entrepreneur. If you want to become an entrepreneur, what makes you an entrepreneur? So entrepreneur thinks that it is not my work, it is my passion. Whatever you do, whatever you earn, and you want to become an entrepreneur, at that moment, it is not only work for you, it becomes your passion. When it becomes your passion, you are giving your 100%, and then you can become a successful entrepreneur. So this is one important aspect to become an entrepreneur. Next important part, which we are going to discuss, and that is, these are the qualities which I am going to discuss with you. This is the main slide of this particular presentation. If you want, you can take screenshot of this particular slide, because this is the most important part, because it will tell that what are the proven traits of an entrepreneur. If you are an entrepreneur, this definitely a theory. This is studied through 19th century, 20th century, and 21st century's entrepreneurs. This is the study, and then this particular module has been designed, named as complex process model of entrepreneurship. So there, these are the qualities, traits of any entrepreneur should have. Which kind of personality that person is supposed to have, which kind of human capital that person required, active performances where we do require as an entrepreneur, and environment, which kind of environment that person is supposed to be in. So if we are good with this particular personality traits, then we are eligible to become an entrepreneur. So in this way, these are the points. Few points I will read it out for you, and few I will explain. The rest are, I think, very well explanatory by their words. So I hope all those words are very easy, simple, that definitely you can understand. The first point, a need of achievement. Need of achievement, it suggests that always there should be some kind of ambition. I want to do it. I need to do it. I need to achieve it. If this is your attitude, then you are going to become an entrepreneur, because entrepreneur means following targets, achieving targets. So these particular quality you should have in you. Okay. Locus of control. Locus of control means control on your emotions. I am getting very angry, or I am very shy. These kind of person at extreme level will not work in business. For that, you require a balanced personality, and for that you require good control. If you are getting angry, that's fine, but it must be in a control. If you are feeling shyness or fear, but that is also need to be in control, and you need to manage that particular feeling. Next point is that self-efficacy, means self-esteem, my expertise. I need to be expert in certain areas which business I am going to do. As I have chosen training business, because I do have expertise in training, and that's why I have selected this particular training business. I haven't selected any other business because there is money and I am going there, and that's why I'm going over there. I haven't done in my life, because when we want to do business, we need to select that kind of business where we do have efficacy and our confidence in that particular business. Innovativeness, always whatever you will come with service or product, there should be something new with added value. If the same product is you are going to come with, then people will say, why should I buy from you? Why I should not go to the old brand, which is established brand? Okay. Next point is that risk attitude. You need to take calculated risks as an entrepreneur. Openness to listen ideas of your teammates, of your customer, of your competitors also, and then need to modify your product. Okay, so consciousness, extraversion, agreeableness, these are the points which will make you be suitable for this entrepreneurship journey. That agreeableness means you need to be agree to certain points, because see, when you do have vision that I want to start my business, but in your teammate, your employee may have some different opinion. So you need to be agree with them at certain points. If your customer has certain different demand, then you need to be agree with their points. Neuroticism. Means here you have to understand how you can plan in a program manner your business. So this planning is a part of your business, and that you need to follow religiously, very rigorously. Then human capital. For that, you require constant education, because becoming an entrepreneur, you are delivering something, but every day you are learning something, certain skills. Because, for example, when I have started my business, initially I was not aware of digital marketing. After 6 months, I realized that in today's world, I need to be there in front of people. Then print media will not help me that much. Media will be so much costly for me. And so I have chosen digital media marketing. So I have learned, I have hired people, and then I started my digital marketing. So in this way, I have learned because I need to have knowledge that how this particular marketing strategy will be there. So I took education. So a person who is entrepreneur, he must be always a student who is learning something new. Okay. Then you need to take experience of various things while you are doing any particular business. If suppose you want to do a business, because I'm in training business, because I do have 12 years of experience in training. That's why I'm in training. Suppose you want to start a business of clothing, if you want to start a business of a restaurant, then you must work in that industry for a few days, because that real time experience will create a good entrepreneur out of you. Otherwise, there is information on Google, there is information from some person, you can go and listen to that person and collect that information, but that information is that person's experience, not your experience. So I will suggest that if you want to enter into any industry, that can be a service industry or that can be a manufacturing industry or IT industry, experience, observation, these are the skills which an entrepreneur need to adapt. Next point, mental ability, knowledge. So mental ability is dealing with learning part again, that what you are learning from one particular field. If you are in one particular field, then you need to be ambitious that I will be expert in that field. If you have a restaurant, then you need to have this particular confidence in you that in my restaurant, whatever dishes I am going to make or provide to my customer, that is going to be the best around the world. That confidence should be there in you, and that efforts you need to take. Okay, because if I want to start certain things, if suppose I want to start a restaurant and there is one particular dish, that dish I want to serve to my customer, then what is basic and best quality of that particular product or that particular service, and there you need to have your mastery. So try to be expert in whatever field you are. You are in IT field, you are in mechanical field, you are in technical field, you are in non-technical field, whatever you are going to choose for your business, you should have good mastery in that particular business. And if you are not master in that particular business, enter into that business, learn from someone else. There are training organizations, there are online organizations, and you need to achieve that particular mastery. Next important points, which are, I think you can read it and you can understand very properly because of time limit. I can't go through all this. I hope you have taken screenshot of it. But a few important points, staff, that I will explain it to you. First thing is their active task strategy. So every day, every month, and every year, there should be a financial year plan. Okay, suppose April to March, how you are going to deal with your business. Let's say with my business, as I will share with you, that in first year when I have started my business 3 years back, and right now just on this 15th August I will complete my 3 years in business. So first point, the first year I have made a business of 5 lakhs. Okay, I have invested 30 lakhs in my business and I have earned 5 lakhs. But in 5 lakhs, definitely this is the turnover, this is not profit. Okay, so definitely there was tension that only 5 lakhs I have earned. I have invested 30 lakhs. Now, what will be the next? Next year, I have earned 28 lakhs. That is, again, I am saying annual turnover. And in last year, I have earned 34 lakhs. So in this way, the business growth does happen. Immediately, I have started business and I will earn crores of rupees. That is only dream. Okay, you required good hard work, planning, step by step activities, and in once you start your business, there will be definitely various kinds of activities which you need to learn and which you need to implement. Every day there is certain lessons that our customers are teaching us. So you need to be ready for that. Okay. Another point which I would like to discuss with you, that is seeking for feedback. Always you need to be a person that whenever you search to someone, you are giving product or service, you need to ask that person that how is it, how we can improve. So definitely there is a scope of improvement that you will get. So in this particular manner, seeking for feedback, that is the most important part. And the most important points from these particular active performances, one more point I would like to discuss with you, that is related with active approach to mistakes. Okay, you need to understand that yes, that was my fault, I haven't done something, or I have done it in wrong manner, and then you need to modify yourself. Okay, because I have also done several mistakes in my business, concerning
Sorry
team
to interrupt.
management, concerning the appointment of
Sorry to
people.
interrupt.
But right now I have realized it and I'm working on it. So in this way, I have taken efforts for it. Last point, that is concerned with
Mr.
environment.
Speaker, sorry
Environment
to interrupt.
is what is surrounding you
Uh,
in your
so,
lifestyle. Okay. Most of the
sorry.
people, great thinkers, are telling that, tell me about your friends and I will tell you about your future. Okay, so choose your friends properly, choose your environment properly, connect where entrepreneurs are there, connect where experienced entrepreneurs are there, to enter into one particular industry. Then select your friends from this industry, those who are already there and performing well. So in this way, your network must be. Then you should be a dynamic personality, a good person who is taking fast decisions, quick decisions. Who can take quick decision? Who is
Mr.
without any
Speaker,
kind
sorry
of.
to interrupt.
So all these particular points, you need to have a clear thinking. You need to
Hello.
have habit of writing your points, views online, otherwise on any particular diary. So you need to write down your thoughts downwards anywhere. Means it can be online, otherwise on any diary, and definitely you can learn from your own mistakes. So in this way, you need to have expertise of that particular industry, experience of that particular industry, and that particular attitude. Yes, I want to bring change in society. Then you can become a good and successful entrepreneur. So these are the points which I would like to share with you, uh, which I have brought. And I know that it is very limited time, but in this limited time, I try to answer most of the points which I have covered. Now, I will request all of you, if there are any questions, I am ready to answer it. Uh, Over to you all, guys. And welcome to the field of struggle and success, because entrepreneurship is not a smooth way. There is always struggle, and then only you will get success. Yeah, any questions from audience you can ask, or you can type in chat box. Is there any
All
question?
volunteers are requested to kindly ask the question. There is last 3 minutes of the first speaker left.
Excuse me, sir.
Actually, I'm not getting any voice.
Melville, go
Hello.
on.
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Arvind. Can you hear me?
Okay, give me a second. I will check at my level.
Drop down the comment on the chat box.
Hello? Hello? Am I audible to you? Because I'm not getting voice from your end. If there are any questions, you can type down in chat box, at least that I can read it out and I can speak on it.
Hello.
Today, I guess there's no questions from the participant side. So I would like to thank you for taking out time and delivering us such a wonderful session. Thank you, Mr. Arvind. Varun.
Okay, I received a question over here. As I said, 5 lakhs, then second is approx 28 lakh. Did you change the whole strategy or, yeah, concern with this particular part, concern with changing in my business, definitely I have changed my approach towards business. Initially, my focus was totally on customer, means my student. Uh, then in next year, I have learned that along with my student, my one important partner is my staff, my faculty. So more qualified and more experienced staff I have hired in next year who can deliver in an effective manner. So that strategy I have changed. And as I said earlier, that I have learned digital marketing, so I focused on digital marketing. So this is one more add value I have given for my marketing strategy. So these two strategies majorly I have worked. And as a result of it, I received that particular benefit as 5 lakhs to 28 lakhs. That difference I got definitely with these particular changes. Yeah. Any other questions? You can type it out. Still, I'm not able to. Get your voice. Uh, okay, fine. As I received that there are no questions, fine. Okay, thank you very much, all.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. So we'll be starting with the second speaker. So I would like to call upon Shivam for the introduction.
Moving on, we have Mr. Harmik Singh. Harmik Singh is the COO of ZayaLearning Labs in India. He started his career at Accenture as a tech analyst and graduated towards working for the non-profit and education sector in India. Harmik also consults with various education and technology-based non-profits in India and Liberia over the last 5 years to provide strategic direction, product development, and people operations. In his current role at Zaya, he manages a team of 25 people who work with various clients in India and United States, providing product development and consulting services. Zoya has won awards from DBS Bank and Microsoft for their innovative offline learning programs and sessions that are aimed at reaching the last mile learner and improving the access to technology for learning. Now I would like Mr. Harmik to start his session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Shivam. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I don't see anyone's. So this is a very non-interactive session. Why don't some of you all come on the Can some people just come online and get your video on?
All participants are requested to kindly switch on the video, including the technical team.
Thank you. Hello, Royal sir. All right. Some people. Everyone speaking slowly. That's good. All right. Okay. So thank you for having me, Royal sir. And I have a lot of close friendship with the DBIT NSS team and Royal sir also, because he joined in the first year Royal sir started in DBIT was when we started in college, and we were his first NSS batch. So we are the proud first NSS batch of DBIT that's ruling with Royal sir. Just to give you a brief about what I have been up to in the last 10 years. So last week I finished 10 years of working outside engineering after DBIT. So yeah, I'm a DBIT student. I was there from 2006 to 2010. So glad to see all you guys here. Glad to see that the NSS department is going strong and you guys are working on something related to entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship. So, videos on most of your half of your to sleep. So just starting basics, what does social entrepreneurship stand for, or what is the basics of entrepreneurship? There's a lot of minute things to discuss and something that can't be covered
Sorry
in
to
half hour.
interrupt, Mr. Speaker. Your voice is lagging. Sorry to interrupt. Your voice is lagging, Mr. Speaker.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah, we can hear you now, sir.
All right. Thanks. So, yeah, I graduated out of DBIT in 2010. Before that, I was so deeply in touch with the NSS department that I kept going for the camp even after I left college and while I was working. Felt that that is one prime connection I have to the college and to the NSS team. The reason for having that was that the NSS and the social work that we did there provided me with a very special, safe place to be in while doing what I really wanted to do. I really wanted to work. I really wanted to help people, and that space was provided by NSS. I think that's one core point for you all to note, that if you want to be a social entrepreneur, your empathy or empathy towards the cause is something that is going to be very, very valuable. And at 100 out of 100 times, 99 people will not agree with you or don't want to do something that you feel like doing. There might be cases where you might be deeply empathetic or wanting to do something about one situation, whereas none of your friends want to. And it is anti-peer pressure where no one wants to do something, so I might also not take that step. But an entrepreneur's path or a business owner's or a leader's path is purely about taking the steps that you feel. So there is this, I used to have this switch inside my head or my heart, where it felt like after looking at something even for 10 seconds, if I still felt any kind of emotion towards it, I would take an action towards something. Otherwise, I wouldn't. And that's your overall setup, to think of. That is there something that really triggers? Is there a problem that really made me shake and makes me think about it for the last 15, 20 minutes? And if something that really appeals to me, then I'll do something about it. So that's my way of looking at what I want to really do. Y'all are all just in college and just getting out of college now. So the formative years of what you will do and the formative years of your next few years is purely about learning. I would suggest that you all just focus on just doing one thing, and that is learning as much as possible. When I say learning, not just classroom learning, I'm talking about learning from each other, learning online, learning from documentaries, learning from life stories of successful people you admire, learning from books. I think that's one habit that the sooner you can get, is the better it will be. Just start reading. Just take up any book and start reading. It makes you a better human being. It helps you create, helps you think creatively. It also makes you, if a book is boring, it also makes you learn how to stride through something that you don't really like to do. And you will have a combination of all these things to do in the future, in the next. So yeah, just starting off, I started in Accenture. I went from the NSS department, and I was in love with the college. Royal sir will tell you later if he wants to. And always wanted to do something with the students, with the college, with the people that I was working with. And even after Accenture, I kept working in the non-profit sector there and non-profit department there. To which after 3 or 4 years, I felt that, you know what, I don't think I really want to just write code for life. I don't really want to set up in the US. And while I don't happy, or while I don't feel satisfied in some way that I'm doing something good in life. That made me jump ship directly, where from the nice Accenture cushiony job, I just jumped to working in a non-profit and decided to just start teaching there, start doing fundraising there, and start doing marketing work there. just helping a non-profit out and learning from the ground up. It was potentially like just going to the zero and just putting away the 3-4 years of life that I had and just starting from the bottom, which I did. My salary got cut to 1/3 of what it was because it's non-profit, it can't pay you that well, and it's something that most people will advise you not to do. I mean, if you have elder brothers or sisters or parents, they will tell you, "Are you mad? Why do you want to do something like this? Or why do you want to go below where you are? In life, you should always go forward." But that's not how everything works. Have you ever thrown a catapult? So if a catapult has to be thrown, a stone has to be taken back first, and then it goes in larger speed. So it doesn't mean that everything can move in only one direction. There can always be a 2-step back to take a better run up. So if you're standing at a cross point where you're at a valley, there is a big place to pass. You might take a run up, right? So treat your failures as your run. Really. Like treat your failures, treat your things that you're not good at, or treat the things that you start doing later in life as your run up. A lot of times you will feel like, hey, am I behind my peers? Are my peers doing better? Are the ones who are going to the US to study right now just after college doing better than what I will be able to do? Am I okay? Am I not? What is this? There's a lot of this. So the only thing that you get from life, from people, and from your superiors who will be at work where you guys get into or wherever you work is going to be very, very, very golden work. They have seen more things than you, and even if they don't completely with you, even if I don't completely align with what you want to do, there's at least going to be 10 or 15 or 20% alignment, right? So I started off with the non-profit department and started working there, into other non-profits, started doing work there, and the first non-profit, which really made me question my life. It made me question everything. After 5 years of working, I'm at a place where I don't feel happy at all. And I feel like I've made the biggest blunder. I've taken the biggest gamble and failed working in a non-profit where I get paid much less. I don't get to do the work I want to do. And about the top of that, my boss doesn't talk. He's someone who feels that I'm not fitting in there. And that was a very big low point. That makes these points to or start something and feel like I have achieved. The road is not always just direct top, it is always going to be very bumpy when you want up. So there was another bump. I decided, I didn't know what to do. I was very confused. I was really depressed about this. This is in 2006, 2005. Sorry, 2015, 2015, 5 years ago. And then what happened was that I took another chance. I was like, let's look another non-profit. Let's work somewhere else and see what happens. And to my surprise, this non-profit I started working with, I don't know if you've heard of them, called Akanksha Foundation. And I started working with them, and it completely went away from me. Like the way it climbed up. I joined the organization when we were 12 people. I was the head of operations, which was me handling finance and HR and strategy. I never did HR, I never did finance, I never studied any of it. But that's going to happen a lot, right? You'll be bumped into things that you don't do. But the only skill that I had was, you give me a job, I'll do it, right? And you give me a task and I complete it. And what engineering really teaches you here is application of logic, which no other field will teach you. And that applies everywhere. And hence proved by this logic that engineers can go into any sector and do well. And that worked, right? Like in the first year, we were 12 employees. And by the third year I left from there, we were 65 employees. I was replaced by 9 people in total by the time I left, with me being the single point of HR, marketing, finance, and all operations, to having one operations manager, to having 2 HR people, 3 finance people, 1 fundraising person, because that is how fast an organization grew, and that was the matrix of success. So what I want to conclude or tell you from this is that you will find your place and your dots will join. Whatever I learned for 4 years in Accenture while working in a large scale organization with 70,000 people in India and more than 3 lakh people across the world, was that processes are very important. Setting up scale is very important. How technology can really help you. And these skills combined with just having pure your dedication, hard work, and logic will just help. You might feel that you're one of 50,000, 100,000 engineers in India every year, but that 100,000 people are you that you guys are. You are learning a lot. You are learning a lot about logic, application, about just passing a subject by studying one day, or studying a 600-page book every 1 month and passing your exam. So that's not the skill that everyone in this country can get. So you all should consider yourself a little bit lucky that you are in this space. First of all, that you are able to afford to study engineering from a college in Mumbai, in one of the biggest cities in the country. So you all are already in the first 10% of the country, statistically also, compared to a lot of other people you are. And the way you start, the day you start seeing this, you will start applying your own logic differently. You start seeing your own self differently. Rather than questioning yourself if I'm able to do this or not, you will ask yourself, why can't I do this? If I'm already in the top 10, why can't I go to the first? You're not in the last 10 that you have to climb the whole ladder to 100. You're already to 90. So why can't I put in the effort needed to do this? None of you, if you all are at a laptop with a headphone on your phone and sitting in a room on a dining table or anywhere, study or sit and do this, you are already doing better than 90. So why not use this to your advantage? This is constricted to just what you know or what you've learned, whereas there is millions of things to learn that you can learn on your own. And yeah, I mean, that's where I really feel I broke through. For the breakthrough really came from doing what I was doing. I started doing multiple things. I can't even start naming things that I started doing on the side. I started writing poetry. I started going to travel. I went to Africa on my own, to this small poor country called Liberia, and started teaching there in this deep, risky place called where Ebola was there, and Sierra Leone. I don't think most people know about the country also. I started going there. I started working a non-profit in the weekends. I started teaching here and there. I did extra projects. Did everything I could learn, and I still do. And that's one thing that I really feel is something I want to tell everyone after sort of 10 years of work, is that always be open to learning and always be open to being wrong about something. I don't remember how to code anymore after 10 years, but I don't mind. I will tell any developer we've just hired from PBIT also that, hey, I don't know how to do this. So why don't you do it? Or tell me how to do it. And this I really saw as a big change that I saw in myself for engineering now. When I was an engineer, I used to be like, "Mujhe aata hai, don't tell me what to do," or "I know how to do this." That deep confidence that you show comes from a lot of insecurity of actually not knowing or knowing how to do something. So it really starts that way for you. It really starts with that basics. That, hey, I don't do this, and just accept for yourself first. Right? If you don't, and tell yourself, hey, I don't know this, and it is okay. The day you start thinking of it this way, that hey, it's okay to not know this, you'll start learning it and you start making progress. And people around you will start teaching you on your own. You'll see the good of people when they see that okay, this guy actually doesn't genuinely know. And then whatever is done is basically just your skill to learn something. If you have that skill, then I don't think anything can really stop you from doing that. So 2018 is when I moved to this organization called Zaya. That's where I am right now. I'm the CEO there. And it's an exciting place to be. We do technology, and the non-profit sector with education is coming forth here. It's an environment that I really strive in. I think that there's a unique place that I have found for myself after joining the dots. There's a very, very important or a very inspiring Steve Jobs speech about joining the dots. Just YouTube it and if you find it. Just write joining the dots and Steve Jobs and you find it. That yeah, that will tell you that you can join your dots anywhere. So just go out of this and finish engineering and get your job where you're getting it. If you're not getting it, great. Just go and start doing something that you really want to do. And I say really 5 times because how bad do you really want it? Because if it is just maybe something you want to do, you will stop doing it in a year or half a year. But if you really want to teach or really want to help people, then go and find it. I don't think at this point I want to really tell you all about what are the different non-profit sector jobs and that can take 3 hours session for it, or what are the different things to take of the and anything of that sort. But if any of y'all really want to know anything of this sort, then I'll be happy to answer any questions anytime. I think I even told Royal sir that any of these students, if they want to do an internship with me at Zaya and with us sort of, I'm happy to take a few people on board and happy to train you all. I'm happy to help you all for the next one. And that is actually what this social entrepreneurship is to become an entrepreneur. That's how you create more change, right? The cascading effect of change is only when you start off with creating more people to do the change. You can't reach 100 people in one day, but 10 people can, because everyone will have to only go to 10 people more. So create more people like you. Just pass on your knowledge, pass on your thoughts, and that's what really social entrepreneurship is about. Don't look at everything in terms of profit and loss and money. That is where your real growth will happen. So yeah, I think I just want to cover this much for now. I don't want to be too philosophical at this point. I would love to really hear some questions that you guys have and answer them for you guys. So go ahead.
If anyone has any question, you can drop down in the chat box or you can ask her directly.
Yeah, very good evening, Harmik sir.
I really
So, I have a question in mind. So now we are not engineering students. Me and a few others, we are from BMS background. So, like early last month or something, we started our own startup. Started our own startup. So, we help work in marketing and sales for small businesses. So, like the question
Okay.
I had in mind, yeah, we are like four people, and from them, two are here present here. And I had one question here. So, like now we are in a third year. So, we don't. I'm really confused whether, early in the next stage of my life, whether to go on with, take MBA continue our business or take up another business. So what is it? Because the way the environment tells us is that MBA is really important further on, even to get a proper job. So is that in the corporate world?
So no, Raiden, I don't know. I might get one next year, which is an executive MBA from the US, and that you can do that too, by the way. But I mean, so you have a few questions, Raiden, that you're covering, and also it really shows that how, and I really relate with what you're doing. So great job on really wanting to start your own startup. You said you started a startup. I don't know what your vision of your startup is or what you really wanted to achieve. If you are achieving that in some way, then you don't need to start it. And if you have started a startup, why are you looking for a job? So where are we going? Like, are you looking for a job or are you looking to run your own company in the future?
No, it's like now we've done it, so we are going ahead with it. But further on, the pressure comes of doing MBA. So we haven't, that's the thing.
I think no one will ever ask you if you have an MBA unless you do your job well. MBA is a qualification, and if you apply for a job, that's where you need an MBA. To run your business, you don't even need it. There is no rule known with the government officially that you need to at least have an MBA to start a business or anything of that sort. So if you need an MBA or no is your decision. But I'll give you some tips from my end. Okay, one simple tip is that if you don't know if you want an MBA, don't get one. The first tip is to really know if you really want it, and trust your instinct and trust your knowledge and your brain to tell right point or no wrong sheeping around where everyone does it, so I'll do it. My friends are doing it, so I'll do it. But yeah, that's how the world works. But you see how we have gotten the world where it is. Well, there is global warming, there is ineducation, there is coronavirus, there is fire. And that's purely because people just followed people everywhere. We followed profit, we followed capitalism, we followed everything. So we have reached where we are. Do you want to just follow the flow of what has reached us here, or do you want to create your own flow? It really is a question of how, and sound it, but do you really want really want to do this business? And the problem I see from what I can diagnose, hidden from what you're saying, is one very simple problem. Is that is related to a problem. The business relation, the reason that you're doing the problem that people are facing. If no, so what is the vision of your business and what is the problem you're solving? I do a lot of consulting with a lot of startups, and the same question is what I'll ask you: what problem are you solving, and how many percentage of people in the world really have this problem? If you know these answers, then you're really able to find a solution. And don't tell an answer and I can't find, then that's very really
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Arvind.
find the answer. Otherwise, you will always be, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, David.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Good evening,
Anyone else have
sir.
questions?
Good evening, sir. I am
Hi.
Supreet. I have a question. Then, when you started your company, how did you raise funds for this your company?
I didn't start Zaya. I joined Zaya later. But the way to raise funds is a very strategic part. You either first put in your own money, if you depends on what you want to really do, and say Kuljit ko high on the left side, if it's on your left, and and raising money for your company is not very difficult if you have a very strong idea. So I am, and what problem are you solving? And is this going to be a problem that a lot of people see? If yes, then you'll find a funder who will back you up. So you, at this current scenario at where we are, it's actually not very difficult to raise money. The difference may not that no one else has come up, because there is so many people to be entrepreneurs right now, and so we find solutions right now. Find something that fits and works. It's a lot of trash to go through, and that a lot of people don't get funded. There is way too many people wanting to do the same thing in different ways. That gives you clarity in any way. So the best way to go about is to find the problem and a solution that no one else is working on. And if someone else is working on a problem you really want to work on, show how you can solve that problem better. Okay. So if you are able to optimize the way something is done, or do something better than the other people, or do something that no one else is doing, that's where your really real work starts. The steps to follow for setting up something like this is very simple. You make a business plan. Okay. You can do this right now also. I'm not telling you something that you can do after raising money. You create a business plan. Create a business plan. It needs a vision, it needs a mission, it needs a target audience. Okay. These are 3 things that you need to put down. Also, the problem statement that you're trying to solve for your target audience. So, vision, mission, target audience, and what is the problem you're solving. Once you have this together, then go to something called design thinking. I don't know if you just Google this term called design thinking. It teach you a 4-step method of how do you come up with solutions for what you're thinking. Social solutions also. Once you have done that process also involves something called pilot. How do you take your solution in the most crude form and test it with a bunch of people? That's where real challenge is. And that's why internships really exist, or internships exist in other companies exist, where they really will sort of help you pilot your solution, or will help you get your solution out to people. So you don't know, like Raiden was here. Raiden has a bunch of people who he's working with that are small companies and small entrepreneurs. So maybe he has a target that he has, and you can give him the tech to test, or whatever your product to test. Once that is done, that is where you start raising money. Once you're able to put it and prove on paper that, hey, my product is really good and it really solves a problem, and there are 1,000, 200, 300 people buying it, that's where you go and tell a venture funding guy or any donor or any grant giver that, hey, I want to solve this problem. Can you give me the money?
I guess all the questions are answered by Mr. Speaker. I would like to thank Mr. Harmik Singh for his so nice speech and all the session he took. Thank you, sir.
Thanks,
Uh,
guys.
Okay, I
Next
just
up,
wanted to tell
Bye.
one thing. As Harmik sir said, he is ready to take some students for the internship. If anybody is interested to join him, you can text me directly or you can ask. I'll request Harmik sir to share his number. So if anybody is interested to learn about this technique and work with the internship, so he can give you additional information, knowledge about your business and startup. Yeah, thank you, Harmik. Thank you
So,
for your time.
yeah, thank you, Royal. So I'm putting down my email address here. Just reach out to me, and I'm very responsive on them. I don't because
yeah,
I don't know,
Okay.
so it's best that you email. So that really works.
Yes. Sure, sure.
Yeah, and
Thank
reach
you.
out and talk
Thank
to
you.
you.
Thank you.
Otherwise, hamper Royal
Yes.
sir, and he'll give you my number. Bye, everyone.
Yes,
Take
sir.
care.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.
moving on. Next up is Mr. Ashtad Kohinoor. He is a young entrepreneur, an engineer, an innovator, and founder of Xanderine Lab. I would like Mr. Ashtad to start his session. Over to you, sir.
Hi guys, a very good evening to one and all. I'm Ashtad Kohinoor and thanks for the intro. So I'm the founder of Xanderine Technologies. We are a company which are creating wearable products. So we're actually redefining wearable products. And I'd like to speak a little about my journey of how this started, the journey of making and developing products. So ever since I was in school, I always was interested in, from my college, I was introduced to Riddle, which is a great innovation and incubation lab in the campus itself. And that's when I joined different design thinking courses, and I came across the whole concept of how to build a sustainable startup. Before that, I was into building products which were trending in the market. So you all guys must have known the product which had come out, fidget spinner, or I guess around 4 or 3 years ago. So that was the first product that I had mass manufactured. So I used to build these small products and just try and copy whatever was available in the market. But that was something. So after joining Riddle, that is something that I realized that it's not sustainable. And so fidget spinner was the first product we manufactured and just sold 5,000 pieces as a business, but then it just disappeared. And after that, I came up with more products which were already available in the market. However, after doing the design thinking courses, I tried to build more and more empathy with the customer and who I'm actually trying to sell my products to and what I'm actually trying to make. So before that, you actually need to figure out what the customer exactly needs, right? So that's when I developed a product known as lace bits, and lace bits is actually an easy shoelace enclosure. So it's a simple clip I can show you guys here. This is the product, and this is my first very product and a proper company that I formed, that is Xanderine Technologies, and selling this product under it and to build an actual brand out of it. So this was the journey that I've been through, like from creating random products which are already available in the market to building empathy through the customer and creating a product that the customer actually wants and building a brand altogether. So the scale that I started off at was not something that I'd ever thought of doing. Like we started off by putting our own money. I guess before this, the previous speaker was asked a question that how can we raise funds and investments. So me and my partner Mohammed, so we just started off by putting our own money into the product and manufacturing it. I think that is one of the best ways a founder can get his own skin in the game and try to build the startup. But of course, we required investment too, which we later pitched and raised from other investors from Riddle itself. And so now we are also working on different products. We are into smart fabric, which is actually a color changing fabric, which changes color using a cell phone app. So it's a completely new concept. So from so the lace is actually a shoelace product. It's under the wearable industry. So we are actually redefining wearables. So from lace bits to the smart fabric, we have created various different products as such, and that is all with the help of design thinking courses, and creating empathy and building empathy with the customer that you actually are trying to make the product for. So that's something that's a little about my startup and myself, how I started the journey. Our plan is to now scale this business. Of course, we have also got a grant from Riddle for our to build our smart fabric product. Um, and we are planning to launch the smart fabric by next year. Uh, yeah. So I guess my only thing to young entrepreneurs would be that try to build empathy, work on design thinking skills, and do not fear failure. I'd say better an oopsie than a what if, you know. And raising investment is never an issue for startups who are creating products or services which are of actual use. A product, beat anything. Uh, if you've built enough empathy with the customer, then I think you shouldn't have a problem raising funds. And if you have a solid market plan. So yeah, I guess my suggestion to all the young entrepreneurs would be just you guys should go for put in your own money if so. If you feel that if this does not work, it's always never a mistake. It's always a lesson. So yeah, any questions?
You guys can drop down the questions in the chat box, or you can answer directly.
Of course.
If you guys have any questions, you can put them in the chat box, or you can answer directly.
Yeah, I have one question for the speaker. Can I ask? Hello.
Yes, sir, for sure.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can ask.
See now, Mr. Kohinoor is talking about the design thinking process. I remember 2 years back, I attended one program, 2 days program on design thinking. So can you just talk more about this design thinking process, because it is important for any startup or any entrepreneur. They first go through the design thinking process. It can be a 1 day process, 2 days, a brainstorming process, and everything. So can you just explain what is this design thinking process and how it is building your
Sure.
own image and then your then concept and everything, please?
Sure. So the design thinking session that I had attended was a session by Startup School India at Riddle itself, and essentially, design thinking starts with the basic thing, finding a problem. So once you find a problem, only then is that you can find the solution for it. So I guess there's a saying that you can spend hours finding the problem, and once you have found that you have understood the problem. The most important thing is that you find the problem, the customer, the person, or the people that are facing, and you build empathy with them. Once you build empathy and you have understood the problem well, then only then you can find the solution, either be it a service or a product, to solve that kind of problem. And of course, prototyping is a very important thing. You can prototype a service, an app, a software, or a product, and you keep improving the prototype. So that would be the entire journey, from finding the problem to building empathy and finding the solution, then creating a prototype of that solution, showing it to the customers, and getting feedback. So feedback is very important. It's like either you demo or die. So that's what it's like. And getting feedback and changing your prototype as and when required, to adapt and get the right solution for the problem that the customer is facing. I hope that answers the question.
So I had a question
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. Sorry, Melville. Yeah, you can ask your question. I
Sure.
just wanted to ask speaker, is it really helping your product, or it's only one-time process, or it's a ongoing process? Every time, whenever you are thinking about your product, whenever you are thinking about your changing your strategy and all, that time it is really helping you this design thinking process, and then whatever you have attended.
Yes, of
Because
course. So,
people says like, yeah,
yeah, sorry, continue.
yeah. No, people are thinking it is like a one-time process. If you attend design thinking process, you will get your idea about your business, and then you can start, and then no need to think about more. Because as per my knowledge, business requirement, whatever product requirement is always changing as per the customer. So
Right.
this is, I think, really important. So you can also suggest. I can also suggest, if you are thinking about next program, design thinking could be another activity
Right.
for all the participants.
So if
Yeah.
design thinking is, of course, it's not a one time process. It comes in every part of the business, no matter at what level you are. Because if design thinking stops, then your scalability will stop. Like, if you want to scale, and if you want to make better, if you want to make your product or service better and better, you'll always have to, you know get to the core of the problem of the customer, and try to uh, build and make your product better and better. So I guess design thinking is not just a one time process. It's the skeleton of the entire business, and it's a part of the entire process.
Useful, and it is required. Yeah, Melville, you can go ahead with your question.
So so you said about sustainable business, right? But when you talked about your fabric, digital fabric, or smart fabric, how do you define that as a sustainable industry, or it will be lasting forever? Because fashion industry is one of the industry that will that changes. It has a quick fashion industry, like fast fashion and all. Plus we have competitors with Google and Facebook and all, who are investing in this smart fabric, to be honest. And in India itself, there are a lot of competitors. So how do you define sustainable business for your smart fabric that you are planning next year?
Right. So the smart fabric is actually, I'll just tell you a little more about what it exactly is. It's not exactly just for wearables or clothing. I'm building a platform, as in the fabric is like the raw fabric, right? So you can cast it into any product, be it wearables, or even home decor, or be it for military purposes, right? So there are different aspects to the product, and it's not a finished product. It's the raw material. It's the raw fabric, which can go into which can fit into any industry, and you can convert any product into a color changing one. And this is something which hasn't been done by now at the scale that I'm looking at. As in, you do not see people wearing clothes, or any product as such has not come in the market yet, which can change its color and appearance. So this is a non-LED fabric, I'll just tell you that. So it's not like those LED fabrics which are available, those LED t-shirts. This is a non-LED fabric and it actually changes color. And I have identified certain different sectors, like fashion is of course one of them, but another one would be military, which is of course a far-fetched thing to do, because there are many uh, constraints for that industry. But military is one use where the camouflage vests that they wear could also be made out of this, using the same technology that I'm developing. So that is one thing. And of course, as you said, how can I define a sustainable business? It would be, if you can adapt to the needs of the customer, I think you can always sustain in an ever changing market.
So, but sustainable business is something that lasts forever, or maybe at least for 5 to 10 years
Right.
or more. But when it comes, like, even if you come up with your fabric stuff, like it, how long do you feel it would be lasted? Because in the end, there'll be so many of competitors, and people won't adopt it as soon as possible. Like it will be so costly, people won't adopt it in the first 3 4 years maybe. Plus, when competitors talk, like, how do you handle that pressure, or how should we design or think about or go forward with when all these aspects come together?
So right, that's a great question, I guess. And here's the thing about competition: like people think of it as some negative kind of a thing. Like competition is bad. In fact, I see it in a really good way, that competition is good. In fact, first thing, it just proves that someone else is trying to copy what your idea is, what your original idea is. Someone else is trying to copy, and so that's a good thing. Like they are trying to copy you instead of you copying them. So which is one thing. And another thing regarding competition is it always helps you grow. So if there is no competition, of course, um, you will be the only one in the market. But if there's competition, you'll always be trying to sustain yourself at number one, and not try to let the competition. And same for him, the other competition will also be trying to do the same. So I think instead of seeing it in a negative way, that, oh, if there's competition, your business may or may not work, will become difficult for you. But that difficulty will only help you, grow your business and your idea more. That's my take on it, of course. And second thing is that, as I said, design thinking is an ongoing process. And if by using this design thinking process, you can adapt to the changing market and to the changing needs of the customer, I think you can build a sustainable service or a product. I hope that answers your question.
All right, sir. I'm not sure if that explains what I wanted
Okay.
actually, but thank you so much for your explanation.
If you can elaborate your doubt, maybe that would be helpful. So like if you're saying, let's say a product like fabric, let's say for example a product like smart fabric, if you're saying that maybe, let's say it may not last for more than 5 years, right? But after 5 years, let's say the market has changed, all right, and the needs of the customer has changed. And if I am continuing my efforts to get knowing the customer better and trying to solve the problem in other ways, let's say maybe my product is obsolete, and now I need to make a few changes to the product or the service to adapt to the growing market. I guess that is what the essence of design thinking is, and that is what will help you, keep you sustained in the market. If you can, always. Uh, so, like for example, let's say the COVID situation came up, and if you cannot adapt, or if you cannot cater to the customer's needs, your startup may get stagnated or it may die, right? But if you can adapt to such circumstances, or even to the changing market, the market is always changing, right? The customer's needs are always changing. So if you can adapt to that by building empathy with the customer, I think you can last for a good time.
Right, sir. Right. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Any other questions?
If anyone has any questions, you can put them in the comment box, or you can talk to Sir directly.
So just to ask one more question to you on for manufacturing or for any of the product to come to the market, there's a lot of investment that takes place, right? So how do you convince an investor to invest in your product or to go forward with your plan or strategy? And how do you, I mean, how does the investor gets help from your end?
I did not get the last part, as in, but I'll tell you a little about how I went about the entire process. So before building or manufacturing the product at scale, what I essentially have always been doing is building prototypes, and prototypes is something that helps for you yourself get the idea. An idea is imaginary, right? To get that idea into a physical form, and it also helps for the customer himself to know the idea, the service, the product better. So once you start building prototypes, you can actually define the boundaries of your business and your product better, and that is what can get you the confidence that this product is work. And if you are confident, I feel you can convince the investor itself himself that the product will, or the product or the service will work out. And so one thing is that I have actually sold prototypes. So I've actually 3D printed products before mass manufacturing them. I've actually 3D printed them, or fabricated them through different processes, and sold that product myself to test the validity in the market. So that is one thing. Another thing, there are certain models which cannot be tested out just by building. I mean, you cannot actually, let's say for example, Ola, Uber. There are ways to test it, but there are certain models which would be really difficult to test them out. So you can have different um, ways to interact with the customer. Different you can set up a small business, maybe just to test out the model itself, and then maybe approach an investor, so that once you are certain that and you are confident about what you are building, and that this is solving the needs of the customer, then I think raising investment or grants shouldn't be a problem.
Thank you,
Can
sir.
you repeat the last part, as in what was the
So how do like if investor like ask you like how does their payment works, or how does they get repayment out of your business? How many years will it take? How does that guarantee, or how does you guarantee them about the payment as a business entrepreneur?
right? So it's actually till now, I'm also an earlier startup, and I have only got an investment through equity. So we have raised funds and in exchange of equity, and so that is when we scale our business and we raise the next AB rounds of investment. They can shell out their equity and sell their equity and get their money back, 5x or 10x, whatever the valuation is at that time. How you can convince your how you can be convincing is, one way is that you are certain, you can sell your vision to the investor, right? So that is one very important thing, that you need to sell your vision. And your vision, in the sense your projection and your idea. If you are confident, only then I guess it's possible for you to sell your vision to an investor, or even to a customer, for say, who are actually your stakeholders. And yeah, so your projections, your vision have to be rock solid, and you need to know your numbers well, of course, and you need to know that your product or service is actually solving a real problem.
Got it, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Are there any other doubts, participants? So I guess there are no doubts in the participant section. I would like to thank Mr. Ashtad for such a wonderful session today. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us today.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, thank you, sir. So, due to an emergency, our last speaker could not cannot come, like he cannot join. So, I would like to conclude the session for today. I would like to give in the vote of thanks. So, I would like to thank Mr. Royal D'Souza, NSS Program Officer for Don Bosco Institute of Technology, and Mr. Yashesh Ranpura for the NSS Program Officer for Don Bosco College for being the best coordinators we can have and for making this program a success. I would like to thank all the speakers for taking out their time and in their busy schedules and delivering such a motivating and wonderful sessions with all the young minds. I would also like to thank the young minds for their support and attending the program. Lastly, I would like to thank the organizing team, the technical team, the publicity team, and for all their help and support. This is Shivam Singh, your host, and signing off. Adios.
One second. So before we wind up our program, I just wanted to ask some feedback from the participants. So initially we got 25 confirmed people, and slowly around 20, then 15. So again, I told the organizing team, we are not looking any quantity. We are looking out the quality, and that's why whoever is interested to take a entrepreneurial activities or a startup, so we can definitely help them. Now we have finished first part of our entrepreneurship program, and then very soon we will come up with the follow-up activities, like from all these days we can talk about the uh, design thinking program, or any specialization program in the marketing or packaging or advertising, networking, building a strategy. So we will definitely call out some of the experts from the field, and then they can share their experiences. Before we wind up our program, I'll request few participants, or if everybody is talking about their feedback, what you have learned, and then whether you like this program or not. And if we or as an organizer wants to continue this activity or program, what suggestions you can give us. Definitely you're going to write your all the suggestions in a feedback form, but if we can talk about the program and all now, if आपको कुछ अच्छा नहीं लगा, you can also talk about it, so we can get opportunity to improve that. So anyone here wants to talk about it, please share. मुझे लगता है कि at least few people should come and talk about their experiences and their learnings, or if they want to suggest something, please. कोई भी बात नहीं करना चाहता है या
Sir, I would like to speak. Hello. Yeah, so I would like to thank Don Bosco for NSS unit to give this opportunity for our students to get motivated and encourage ourselves for this entrepreneurship. Since nowadays everyone is going for this entrepreneur, we have a clear vision and idea of what exactly it is. So I would like to thank it again.
thank you. Any suggestions to improve this program? If you want to conduct with another set of young mind or some women group and all, any suggestion for them about this program and activities? You want to add some activities, you want to remove some of the training program or session? Is there any suggestions? I'm not asking individually, but anyone can give any suggestions. It can be area of improvement for us.
So I would give one of the suggestions, like what I feel we can do that in the next program onwards is that all of us over here like have come here or has joined us have a very good experience eventually is on the first 2 days, maybe we can eventually think of our own ideas, like brainstorm it, think in detail whether it will be a good one, or think all the negative stuff and all the positive stuff. And that could be done in the first 2 days, like more of a brainstorming of what our ideas are and what our creative heads are. Later on in the days, like third, fourth, and fifth days, to work on that particular idea on what we have built it, right? So having said that, meantime our mentors and all who come here and all explain, they can guide us having that idea in our head, and we can go forward with that even after 5 day session ends. So if I had an idea on the first day, on the first 2 days, I'll think all of the mission, all of the vision, what are the scopes, how to target the segmentation, the target audience, how to go forward in the market, and all that stuff I'll brainstorm in the first 2 days. Later on in the third, fourth, fifth days, I'll work on these aspects in detail. Like if I need a help or if I need financial stuff, how to approach or where should I go, or if I have to target market, online marketing or digital marketing, how should I start with my own Instagram page. So all that can be followed up. So that could be one of the suggestion on having a base and work towards that till the program ends.
Melville, thank you very much for your suggestions. This was a basic program about the entrepreneurship. As I told you during the orientation meeting, now also I'm if the group wants in a particular session or activity, definitely we'll come up with a particular expert, like how to digital marketing or social media. Then all these issues one by one, definitely we will cover this. So I'll request all the participants not to leave this group. We continue in the same group, because today we are going to share a 10 points ka form, that is business plan. I'll request all the participants to fill up this form, and then on 20th August 20th August, we are going to have a short meeting again where you are going to present your business plan. There are only 10 questions, and if you read all the 10 questions, you can have your business plan ready. I'm going to get one expert to listen all this, and then according to your requirement, according to your business plan, I'll try to get mentors for you